Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more special guest I would like to offer congratulatory remarks. He spent the majority of his career right here in South Florida with 3 NBA World Championships for the Miami Heat and named MVP for the 2006 NBA Finals. He was one of the first to reach out to me last year, has a heart of gold, and it gives me great honor to introduce Mr. Dwyane Wade.
What's up, boss? How you doing, man? How you doing? Where I go up here? What's up? I'm gonna use my phone and speak. I can't do this paper stuff. If y'all don't mind, I'm sorry. So, when I was asked to come here today, I immediately said yes. Then I started asking myself, what was I gonna say? So I asked my team to send me an outline of things I can talk about. And after reading what they sent me, and additions that I came up with, I decided to read it out loud to my wife. Smart, right? So she looked at me, and she said, it's fine. But if anyone know their significant others, you know their tone and you know they look. So I knew it was more to it. And then she asked me a question. She said, do you want fine? With like that? Like, do you want fine? Or do you want this speech to mean something? So I thought about it. And I thought I'd share a little bit of how I became a part of this MSD family. So I remember having my business manager reach out to the school and ask if it was okay if I came on the first day back. I remember being in the car, driving all the way out to the school and thinking to myself, where am I? I remember pulling up and seeing a few security guys outside. I remember being met by one of the staffers. I remember us walking to the school, and I remember hearing absolutely nothing. I remember thinking to myself, I've never heard this kind of silence before in my life. So I started thinking about what I heard on the news. I started thinking about everything I read on social media, and I immediately started getting butterflies in my stomach. I remember being so nervous to see and meet everybody. What would I say? I mean, I grew up in the inner city of Chicago, and I've experienced a lot of awful things. But I've never experienced anything to the magnitude that you guys have just experienced. So I remember walking in and meeting the staff and actually being surprised that everyone was excited to see me. Then I remember hearing someone say, we're going to go to the cafeteria, and that's where I'll be able to say a few words to the students. I remember thinking again, I have no idea what I'm going to say. And what started going through my mind was, how do I dare come in here and act like I know how do I dare come here and act like I know what you guys have been going through? How narcissistic of me to think I could come here and make a difference because I'm good at my sport. I remember walking slowly to the cafeteria. And as I was walking in, students started to see me, started seeing smiles, people running, pulling out their phones, showing their followers on Instagram and Snapchat and some other cool app that I'm just not cool enough to know anything about. And I remember thinking, wow, it was packed. I didn't expect that. I actually really didn't know what to expect. But I remember the smiles, the looks of joy. I remember feeling this insane energy. So I grabbed the mic and started speaking from the heart. And in that moment, I realized something. I realized that we had so much more in common than I even knew. I realized that at that moment, we all had a responsibility to be seen, to be heard, to stand up and stand tall for the ones that no longer had a voice. Thank you. Weeks weeks before this tragedy happened, I was playing in Cleveland. Um, I try to I try to say that quietly. I'm sorry. Um, Actually, I was in practice, and I was called out of practice, and I was handed a phone, and my heart started to race because I knew what the call was about. My longtime agent, my friend, my mentor, and my father figure, Henry Thomas, he has been pretty sick for the past year or so. So I was told that I immediately need to come to Chicago, and I needed to meet the family at the hospital. And I knew what that meant. I mean, I had to go say my goodbyes. And after I got back, basketball was the last thing I wanted to do. And that was weird for me because basketball was always my sanctuary. You know, it was always a place I would go to get away from the world's disappointments. But at that time, I didn't care. I didn't care for the game anymore, and it showed in my energy and it showed in my play. But a week and a half later, I got a call. I got a call that the Miami Heat was willing to trade for me if I would accept. It took me about point zero point 0.1 seconds to say, hell yeah. And at that time I needed to be home with my family and my Heat family. And when I got back, it felt like the whole state was elated for my return. It felt good to be welcomed back. It felt good to be back in Wade County. But quickly after my return, I was reminded of something that I live by. My life is bigger than basketball. And that's why I asked to come to Marjory Stoneman Douglas, to be whatever was needed of me. If there was a shoulder to cry on, if there was a friendly face that you passed in the hall, if it was just to have someone with a voice and a platform to listen to your wants and needs and be willing to stand with you side by side, I wanted to be there because we're stronger together. So I shared that story with you guys to say thank you. Thank you for reminding me of my purpose. I'll try to continue to be a leader and a fighter that Joaquin Oliver thought I was. And I'll keep reminding you, of how the strength that was shown, the leadership that was shown from the students, from the staff, from the parents, from this community was powerful, and it is powerful. What I loved most and appreciated most was that you all became advocates. You became the faces and the voices for kids all around the world. I'm so proud to say the words MSD Strong. Today, you will close a chapter in your lives and embark on new experiences and journeys and memories. And it's a time to celebrate and be proud of everything you've done to make it to this moment. As you know, I too recently closed a pretty significant chapter in my life. So in a way, I feel like I can relate to what's going on in your minds right now. You're anxious, you're excited, and you're a little nervous. A mix of emotions all building up as you're beginning a brand new chapter in your lives. Whether it's high school or professional basketball career, each chapter in our life starts and it ends. And it's filled with mistakes. It's filled with lessons. It's filled with obstacles. It's filled with success, and it's filled with growth. What you do with each of these moments will determine how much greater this new chapter would be. I want you to take pride in what you already accomplished. What has been brought to you, what has brought you to these seats today. Have joy when you reflect on all the lessons you've learned along the way. Don't sit in your fear, but stand firm in your belief in yourself. So, in closing, I had this mantra that I came up with. No, actually, I didn't come up with it. Actually, I didn't. I just lied. I had this mantra It's one of my favorite movies is Red Tails. And in 2013, when the Miami Heat we was going to headed to our second championship in a row, um, we hit a little spot, and I felt like we needed something to bring us together. And I decided to talk and to bring this cheer to the team. And this is the mantra that we came up with, and it's the mantra we use every game before we stepped out on the court. So I just ask you guys to join me in this cheer. Is that okay? All right, but I'm gonna need y'all help. All right, so I know you guys are very smart. I heard someone had a 5.3 thousand GPA. So I know y'all will get this. So, all right, we're gonna say it once and then we're gonna say it together after. All right, so I'm gonna say nothing's difficult. You guys are gonna say everything's a challenge. Let's try it. Nothing's difficult. Okay, we got that. All right. Through adversity, you guys say to the stars. Through adversity. The next three lines is me. I'm gonna say to the last man, to the last minute, to the last second. And then I'm gonna say it, we fight. Y'all gonna say, we fight. All right? I'm gonna say it 3 times and y'all gonna say it back 3 times, okay? So I'm gonna say we fight, y'all gonna say? I'm gonna say we fight, y'all gonna say? I'm gonna say we fight, y'all gonna say? I hope y'all got that. We're gonna say this together and we're gonna say it like a team. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? All right. Nothing's difficult. Through adversity. To the last man, to the last minute, to the last second. We fight! We fight! We fight! Let's go! Thank you guys. MSD Strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've